Welcome back to the Adam Bursztein Contract to Close podcast. Adam, how are you today?
Excellent as always. Busy today. What is today? Wednesday we're filming?
Today's Wednesday, about halfway through March, and it sounds like you've got a lot of irons in the fire right now. Today we're going to be talking about the commercial side of real estate. What is the Equity Advisors team experience with commercial real estate?
Good question. I want to say that I printed the questions before the show, but I left them at my home in Davie, and today we're filming at the Compass office. So your question is, where's the experience for commercial, it sounds like? Well, for those of you, not my 29 followers that are currently watching this, and I thank you for just subscribing, even if not listening, or watching. But I've been doing it 20 years. When I first came into the business, I worked very brief for Marcus and Millichap, which down here in Florida, or I guess probably around the country, I don't know, is a really solid name in commercial. They're the ones that you want to be in. But unfortunately, it was an internship program, and I was already a young man with bills, owning my own apartment and stuff. So I had to pivot, and that's when I kind of opened up my real estate company with my mom. And I was doing a lot of big deals, and we still are, but the crash of 2007, it was 8 or 9, right? 8, 9. I have a portfolio in a safe because I just like to keep it. It's like nightmares of deals from 100 million, 90, 30, 40, 3.5 that disappeared. Marinas, golf courses, site plan approved buildings. But what did not disappear was my contacts, so we pivoted a lot to residential real estate, short sales, foreclosures. But our commercial division at Pearl International, and now with Equity Advisor team, has always been there. Honestly, we don't promote it. I've owned pretty cool websites. I owned for a while. I sold it very foolishly when I was younger. Offmarketinvest.com. That was mine. Some group in London bought it because you can go there, look, they're smart, and that's who you bought it from, guys. That was me. I'm a big off-market, and that's what I was talking about yesterday with my assistant partner, John, and we were just driving the streets busy with our client who's coming to this conference room very shortly. You got to have your ears to the street, boots on the ground, just driving and calling, and that's commercial real estate in a nutshell. So I'll see you next week, and have a great day.
What was the market like a year ago before everything happened?
Good question. So South Florida is always an animal. I always believe, we have no state income tax, right? But we also have a lot of established savvy investors, especially in commercial real estate, and people who use it for retirement and different forms of residual income. So it's kind of another thing that I wouldn't say I'm an expert in, that I do for my own personal self. I'm pretty savvy in some of the laws and things that you can do to build an empire through real estate, right? So there's 1031 exchanges that happen a lot here in South Florida, which is a tool for sheltering your profits through timed exchange in real estate. It's not a primary residence. There you're sheltered by mechanisms. Here in Florida, your primary ownership is your strongest asset, your home. So we're talking commercial. So today's a commercial talk.
How much has the pandemic changed the commercial market compared to March 2020?
I mean, it's up like crazy. Warehouses, and I don't want to say what's really hot. Get them on the list. Let's talk, but just in general, if you like warehouses for real, I'm just joking, but not really. Warehouses, and the reason why I'm like that is because in commercial, it's very secretive. I could have built my own, and I still our own platform, and nobody really puts stuff up on the residential MLS. It's kind of like a joke. People see that and it's that's like a rookie realtor, but there's things to find out there. It's not terrible. And then there's people who think they're looking with one eye open, and then we're looking with two eyes open. We're and that's how we have the data behind us at our fingertips. If I'm not out selling, I'm mining, bing, 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 bing. So that's how I said you have to be off market, and right now you have to even be more like in the street right now, because there's money coming from like Russia, New York. They're pricing out locals like me. Everything that I've known for 20 years is just like poof, 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 poof. Shh. Walked into this group of Israeli guys yesterday. It was a CBD shop in the front. And I heard the building was asking $800,000, right? And I was kind of talking about it on a Instagram thing I did yesterday. But anyway, the building from the agent that I went to junior high with, excuse me, this nice girl, who I thought only did residential. She's kind of like working for a guy who's a powerhouse, and they have like, so now I have a new contact, which is an old contact. I haven't, and I follow her on her Facebook page. And I call, are you that person? She said, yeah, I am. I said, wow, we went to school. Anyway, she's like, the paper trail in that building, those guys, they wanted like 250 originally. Then they wanted 500, and then now they're asking $800,000. So my guy yesterday, we're like, 800,000 sounded cheap, and this girl was like, they're crazy for 800. And I was like, what's the price per square foot? She was like, whatever. And I was just like, The lot we looked at yesterday that she had was 11,000 square feet, asking like maybe $1 million, right? On a nice corner in Hollywood, Sheridan area and Hollywood. But you get a duplex behind it if you put in like another 300K. So then you add another 7,000 square feet. So now all of a sudden you got like this hard corner with a little alley and then a triplex behind it that is kind of crappy, but it's making money, right? So now they have some guys that are like Russian money that wants to put up like a restaurant or some nonsense, not nonsense, but whatever the best and highest use for that particular product is. My guy's use would be different, contemporary lighting and whatever, or a different, let's say. The reason why I mention it is the building behind it is another like triplex. So I was like, oh, who owns that? And the girl that I talked to was like, oh, who cares? I'm like, well, now you have an assemblage, you see? So yeah, I have this building, I got the lot, I got the guy next door for it, and then I got another triplex there. So now just in a couple $1 million, you could buy that up. And I have a fund from a group from Argentina that basically allows me to have up to like $10 million to identify stuff for them, So commercial, hot, dude. As you can hear it in my voice, there's a lot of activity in my camp, in my world, at Equity Advisor team,
Is South Florida's inventory in a position to accommodate this influx of businesses coming from New York, coming from California, coming from Texas? You already got to mention that some of those people are pricing out the local guys.
No, that's been my whole life. It's just a story down here, man. I am not a wealthy man. I've worked for it. No, honestly, man, I see value in everything in Florida. So I'm different. I'm from here. We're the hottest place now. And I just think that who doesn't love palm trees and the surf and the good weather and just beautiful lifestyle, as long as, we keep, just everything goes nice, in the world, we'll be okay, because our governor, Mayor Francis is from Miami, is so proactive, this guy in Miami. And I'm a Broward, Fort Lauderdale guy, but, this guy's talking about Bitcoin, and he's got Silicon Valley coming here, and, hedge funds. And then today I read about some other company that's coming down here. Anyway, it's just one after another, so inventory for the small guy is still around, but it costs like, 400 starting, and then for the big guys, it goes up. I know something that's 15 million off market, residual income, multifamily. I know stuff for 3.5 million. I mean, we just lost a property on Hollywood yesterday. I loved it. And there's like 3 bays with people already making income, and they were asking 700. And we're like, and I knew by the time we found it, because my client found it on LoopNet or something, where it's like, they're not even real sometimes. And by the time we called and got there, it was already all, and we're sending a backup offer, because commercial is different. Cancel, come and go. Very, not like residential. It's not an emotional purchase a lot of times. It's up here and here. It's different. You need to have an experienced person like this.
We've talked about the weather sort of making the residential side a 12-month buying process, whereas up north, folks tend to kind of wait for the springtime market. Is there any sort of impact weather-wise on the commercial side, or is it the same thing where we're buying and leasing 12 months out of the year?
I mean, pretty much 12 months out of the year in normal market. I'm sorry for looking down. I feel like my collar was a little off there, but anyway, to answer your question quickly, COVID sped things up. I mean, we're like, hopefully going to be, even though we look like we're at, running pretty full capacity here in Florida, to be honest with you. It's spring break right now. Traffic is thick, so it's an interesting thing. But God bless, man. Business is good right now, man. I honestly, I'm humbled by how much business is here. Scared there's not enough residential inventory. Wondering how long, 24 months, is it 36? Can't go forever. It's quite a run, man.
Do you envision any sort of shift in office design, or are we going to move away from open office concepts and maybe go back to cubicles?
There's going to be a hybrid model. I mean, stuff is prevalent because it's so overpriced for so long because the dirt is so expensive. When you talk commercial, I don't know, the 29 people, 29, for my friends that know, why I say that, but, I mean, honestly, the commercial people know that the market's hot. It's ever evolving. In Florida right now, there are no deals. Like, you're getting $5 off a square foot right now. Stuff that was like, I'm looking at retail, it's $70 a foot, which doesn't like a lot to you guys. Like, I know my guys in the European Wax Center and other people in New York, it's triple that. And the rent is $70,000 where our rent is $1,000. So the numbers don't equate. So wherever and if you're sitting in Idaho, you're 10,000 sounds like a lot. So, whatever's relative to your market. I've been in it since 2000. I've been doing retail myself since 2007. 2007. Yeah, I opened my first wax center. So I've been fighting with retail landlords since 2007 and doing my own. Now the people thought we were going to have a chance against the big man, but there's so much demand now. And honestly, and it's not what it's who you know. I ran into a guy yesterday that very nice gentleman up in Wilton Manors area, owns a lot of buildings. And who do you work with? He goes, nobody. I said, well, I thought you were walking in this property like customer. No, I own the building. He told me it smelled kind of musty. Super nice guy. My card. He's like, I think I know you. I think you're my client. I said, I probably do, whatever. And I got a new contact, that's not only a seller, but a buyer, so you don't know.
So even though there has been this kind of rush of, online ordering through Amazon, food delivery with Uber Eats, DoorDash, and then, remote work, commercial real estate is still a good investment in South Florida, correct?
Yeah. I mean, there's different mechanisms. There's so many different avenues commercial. I mean, yeah, I'm skilled in probably about 10 of the different ways to do commercial real estate, and I say 10, it might be more. I don't know, there's so many ways, you can be an expert in a lot. So it depends. I've heard it so many different ways, but there's a lot of ways to make money in commercial real estate.
How much different is residential real estate investing compared to commercial real estate investing?
Very different. It's like night and day. You can do, you can be very successful in the residential game of real estate, or you can be very successful in the commercial real estate game. Commercial, you have to be a little more savvy. I mean, you're running numbers. There's things called cap rates and things that people look for, and tax things, and it's very. Especially if you're doing, like I do industrial and I do marina, those are soil tests. You're divers in the water. You're on golf courses. I mean, you're pulling out skinks out of the ground, and you get shut down. It's like it's the Wild West. Planning and zoning. You got to know what the heck you're doing. And even in residential, I mean, I wouldn't do it alone. And I look for seasoned people when I do it. Like I just met a guy in Tennessee. Wow, I'm going to look there. 378,000 acre home, fully built, no state income. Arkansas, I know a guy that moved there, building big things. So I'm always learning, to be honest with you, that. And I hope, for those of you who don't know me, I'm learning and sharing at the same time.
When people go into residential real estate investing, a typical fix and flip move might be, a new paint job, maybe a new stove or a new refrigerator. What's a typical value add for a commercial investment property?
No, it's big money. And I just did a small because I'm also if you here's a shameless plug. I mean, if you list with Equity Advisor Team, it can be residential or commercial or both. I'm working with somebody now like that. And what my crew and my people do is, we can either through Compass's college program or outside of that, doesn't matter. Value added things like landscaping, paint, fixing awnings, electrical work, updating old lights to LEDs. I could run a whole series on just like cool, tips and tricks, on how to spruce up your commercial property. So anyway, there's a million things you can do.
Well, that'll have to be a future episode. Our listeners and viewers can listen to this episode, watch this episode on YouTube by searching Contract Close Podcast, Adam Bursztein, Equity Advisor Team, as well as listening to the audio only version on Spotify and Apple. Adam, how can we connect with you to get our residential and commercial needs met?
EquityAdvisorTeam.com or something. Subscribe. I don't know how the kids do it, whatever. You can find me everywhere. EquityAdvisorTeam.com, Adam Bursztein. I'm not hard to find. People know where to find me. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, sir, talking to me for how long was this podcast?
Just over 16 minutes.
16?
Yes.
Oh, nice. So that's so cool. Well, keep doing your great work, sir. I always reviewing skills, and it's always a lot of fun.
Adam, we'll talk to you next week.